you're making yourself get up in the morning and do your exercises, there is a mental component that says, restriction, restriction, restriction. You can eat more and you can have hormones like do something. But just because they're going from asleep to like slightly awake doesn't mean they're gonna ovulate. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're doing a Q&A today where I answer a question about whether or not Vitex will help you return your missing cycle. And someone just gives me kind of an update on everything that they've been doing. And they're basically like, do you think I'm going to recover soon? I'll read that out loud and we shall discuss. Let's dive in first to that question. So Isabel messaged me on Instagram and she said, "Hey Danny, I hope you're doing well. I recently started watching your content online and on YouTube, which I have been loving since I have been struggling with HA these past 4 to 5 years. Last year, I began implementing changes to get my period back. I began eating 2,600 calories and lowered the intensity of my workouts. Fortunately, I gained weight and started producing CM since at least last December. To accelerate my recovery, last Tuesday, I stopped my morning exercise routine. I do 3-minute plank and I take a 30-minute walk to college from Monday to Friday. Last Thursday, I started feeling pain in my breasts and in my lower abdomen. Though my abdomen pain has mostly subsided, my breasts have continued to be slightly sore since then. I wanted to ask you if you think my body will soon arrive at menstruating naturally, or if there is something I should implement or change to recover faster. Thank you for taking the time to my message." No worries. So yeah, those are really positive signs. The breast tenderness in particular, like it's very rare that we have someone report that they had breast tenderness without actually having ovulated. Like the breast tenderness when you ovulate is so common. For it to come and go away and no period is less common. I'm curious for anyone listening, if you have breast tenderness come and go throughout recovery, you never get a period from it, please let me know. And when I say breast tenderness, it's like they hurt to touch. You know, it doesn't always have to be a lot. It could be just a little, but it's objective. It's not in your head. You're like, no, I'm not crazy. I'm feeling this. That's usually a really good sign. And the fact that you were like, I used to do a 3-minute plank when I woke up. Yeah, I think that finally letting go, like the pinky finger that you clearly had on exercise and control is gonna make a big difference, right? It's like we've had people who used to get up in the morning and do this like basic yoga stretch routine and they were just like, I don't understand why that would be a problem. There's a mental component. When you're making yourself get up in the morning and do your exercises, there is a mental component that says restriction, restriction, restriction. If you are holding on to some kind of like little habit, like a morning plank or push-ups or sit-ups or this walk that you must do before breakfast in order to feel like you earned breakfast, anything like that, that's a routine and a rule and a belief. And you might say, oh, I actually do the planks because of my back pain. It's like, sure, I have some things that I do for my back pain, specifically that kind of are like planks too, but I eat food and do it later in the day. And even if I had to like go into an office or something to do it, I would probably just like find a place to do it, you know, instead of getting up first thing in the morning and feeling like I have to do it. Definitely checking in on your habits and why you have them. This is something that we actually go through in the Restore group program, is like food and exercise audits and habit checkers. And we like dive really deep to find all the little incy-wincy things like that. It's a perfect example that you do that are keeping you stuck, right? So it's like we're removing how you feel about it, like, oh, this isn't a problem. And we're just like putting it out there in list form. Well, you're doing this, this, and this. Do you think other people are recovering? Do you think all the people who got their period back are doing that? I do love that program for that purpose, right? It's like it helps you find all of the weird little habits and idiosyncrasies you're doing that you may not even realize you're doing, or you may realize, but you're like, oh, I don't want to give up on this one. So I like that. I recommend that. I do think you'll menstruate soon. Comment below when you see this and let me know. I do think that you will get a cycle soon if you're feeling those symptoms. But that said, if it comes and it goes, there's probably other areas for you to look into based on only the tiny little bit of information I have on you at this moment. It's a really positive sign. It sounds like you're doing well to find your blind spots, fill your gaps, the things that you are trying to negotiate and keep, remove them to move yourself forward. I love it. Good job. And now Francesca asks, "Hi Danny, it's been exactly 3 years since my last period because of an ED, and 1 year since I'm trying to recover. I've increased my food intake and only lift weights 3 times a week. In the last months, I've seen some progress, quotes, such as mucus presence and other things, but no traces of a period. Am I doing something wrong, or I just need to wait more? Also, I read that chaste, also known as Vitex, can help you regulate your hormones and have your period. Is that true? Thank you. Yeah. So in the last few months, you've had mucus come, but nothing else has come. Months is a long time to see mucus without getting a true result. I have a very, very small section of people who are doing the most and get mucus for a long, long, long time and then get their period. And I'm confident that they're doing the most and it's a waiting game. For most clients, I don't know if this is going to be you or not. I would need to like look at you closer. Most people, when they've been seeing all those signs for a few months, but no actual ovulation, no actual period, it means you ate more or rested more or whatever to actually elicit hormonal activity, right? You can eat more and you can have hormones like do something, but just because they're going from asleep to like slightly awake doesn't mean they're gonna ovulate. You've raised your baseline hormones a little bit, like probably your labs improved, but still not enough to ovulate. It should be yes or no. It's either too low and nothing's happening, or it's perfect. But think about all the other people out there who are menstruating, but they have like shitty cycles. Those people have lower hormones often, right? And they're just like coasting by on the bare minimum. That's essentially where you're at. It's a spectrum. So if you are seeing symptoms for months come and go, nothing, then you're probably still not eating enough, for example. And then with the chasteberry, for someone like you, based on what you're telling me, I would not recommend it for you. There are definitely caveats, but most of the time, we'll use it with clients who are maybe already cycling or who have premature ovarian insufficiency or who are in the deepest of the deep holes that we've seen. So we definitely have some HA clients, like their labs are clearly HA, but we're having to work extra hard to get our cycle to respond. And I will say what I find is a huge correlation between our use of Vitex and clients with like true emotional trauma, distress, adrenal dysfunction, like flatline. We almost never use Vitex with someone who doesn't have a period, with someone who is clearly mentally and emotionally on top of things, and it's only a matter of time. Some people need a little help because they went through like some kind of deep trauma. It's very specific, so I don't want to say absolutely not, but I do want to say it kind of depends, right? And then for someone who is cycling, we might use it when we have a period, but like clearly, you know, we're ovulating, but it's all just a little bit lackluster and nothing we seem to do moves the needle. Tells me at that point, I'm not saying it's how you have to solve it, but our clients usually want to get this stuff on the road and they want to get pregnant and things like that. So another option for us is herbal, right? So we'll go down the herbs route and Vitex may be one of those things. And we do see very good results in people who are already cycling and how the Vitex helps their cycles. It definitely works. If you use it to get your period back, it's not a magic pill. When you stop taking it, it won't work anymore. Better as something to support a cycle that's in its healing phase that seems like it's a little stuck. And it usually takes us a few months to get to a point where we decide it's even necessary. I do think if you feel like I haven't tried everything I can and I just want to use Vitex to skip the line, that's not the right solution for you, because you're trying to buy your way out of it. Part of why I recommend working with a practitioner is because they have a more clear view of whether or not it's appropriate or not, and it's harder to make that decision for yourself. So that's the end of this video, and I just as a last note want to let you guys know that we have a free training coming up on February 6th, the HA Infertility Solution. I will be hosting live this free training to basically walk you through common mistakes people make. Bring a pen and paper because we're going to go through the actual exercises to help figure out like some nutrition blind spots for you and some exercise blind spots for you. So you'll walk away with at least one specific change you need to make. We go through the labs and how to compare your lab work to what to expect for HA so you know what you're looking at, and so much more. We have 7 case studies that we're going to go through. Women who went from HA to pregnant all within very short time frames, within matters of weeks. And I walk you through how each of that happened, and I show you their charts up on the screen so you can kind of see what that success physically looks like too. It's really, really cool. I hope that you'll join me, the HA Infertility Solution, on February 6th at 10 a.m. Central Time. The link will be in the notes below, and you can also find it at the hasociety.com/fertility training if you're watching this, around that time. February 6th, 2024. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Today's questions were all via Instagram. If you have a question you want to submit, you can Instagram me at Danny Sheriff or at the HA Society. You can email me, which is the most common, danny@thehasociety.com, or you can comment below. I save all of these questions and answer them eventually. Bye.